Hey everybody, salams and welcome back to Traditionally Inspired Meaningful Art. I'm Fatmata here, and we've been talking about quite a bit of sewing stuff, and I figured it's about time I did a fabric haul for you. I went to G Street Fabric 3 times over their New Year's sale. Hi, I hope you're excited about the video you're about to watch. I'm excited that you're about to watch this video. I needed to hop on here to let you know that you are not mistaken. If you're watching this when I posted, it is in fact April. I did just say that this was the New Year sale, meaning January. I understand, don't worry. It's not you, it's me, okay? I've had these videos done in the month of January and then, had gotten sick and it was a whole thing, and then I just didn't feel right posting it. But then I remember saying 2020 and 2021, no efforts are going to go unrecognized or celebrated. So I thought to myself, I put in all of that effort. I am still genuinely pumped about these fabrics, as you can see behind me, my fabrics. I recently was just like washing and folding and reorganizing my fabrics, and I want to post this because I haven't even scratched the surface with these fabrics yet. So here it is. This is part 1 of 3-part series, I think, that I'm going to put out for my G Street Fabric New Year's haul that I'm posting well into the year. But it's still fabric. I know I love watching fabric hauls. They bring me a lot of joy just to see the creativity and imagination and just to look at pretty fabrics. So if you're anything like me, I think you'll still enjoy it. It doesn't matter when I bought it. G Street Fabric, at the time that I'm recording this, is having another sale, 25% off majority of their fabrics. You could also get additional coupons from their website, so I'll link that down below and you can check it out. But I hope you get some lovely things, and even if you don't catch it while they're on sale, please go just so you can see their clearance room because it is magic. All right, enjoy the video. Bye. I don't know if this is the person I'm becoming, but here we are. Here we are. I will say that each and every single time I went, I found new things. I did go back and kind of search for additional fabric, like the same fabric, so I can have more in one instance. But for the most part, I could not. When the deal is that good, you just gotta have it. I definitely have enough fabric where I should not need to buy any more fabric, honestly, for the rest of the year. I'm not making any promises to you. I'm just saying I should not have to. But I'm already having that itch of like, what else is there? I didn't know I was becoming this person. I did not know. But I'm gonna go ahead. I think it's best that I break up this fabric haul just because it's a lot for us to go through. And the first day I went, I think I got about 33 yards of fabric in one shopping trip. So I'll show you what I got. And the first day that I went, every single thing that I got was actually from their clearance section. So everything was $2.97. I go through and I like do an inventory where I try to catalog and remind myself what each fabric was, because their clearance section at G Street Fabric, if you've never been, it is a free-for-all. It's a magical place because you find some of the best things there ever, but it is, there's fabric just strewn about. So it's like a scavenger hunt. I think that's a bit of the rush, is figuring out like, what am I going to find today? So that's one of the reasons why I love shopping there, but also because you can kind of give yourself a budget and just figure out how many yards of fabric you're allowed to get. Because every single thing in that clearance section is going to be $2.97. Whether it's a polyester chiffon material or wool or jacketing material, sweater knit, whatever you find there, $2.97 per yard. So without a doubt, whenever I'm in there, I try to, remind myself, do I think I'm going to get it somewhere else at a better price? And if it's something that I know I'll be able to make good use of, it's better I just get it now. So that's what I told myself, and that's probably how I ended up with 33 yards of fabric. But let's dive in. Before we dive in, let me show you what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing my Sully seashell sweater, and I'm wearing the upcycled thrifted skirt that I got. So I really like these two paired together. I'm falling back in love with the sweater. I can handle it, so I enjoy it. And my earrings and scarf are thrifted. Anyways, let's get back into the fabric. I went ahead and brought my mannequin because she is wearing a dress that I made for her, and the nice thing is it's close to my skin tone, so I like to be able to toss the fabrics on her so I can kind of figure out how they would look against my skin in essence, and that's what I'll be doing for the video. So because it's a rather long list in terms of the amount of fabrics that I got, I did try and make note. I catalog all of the fabrics that I bring home, at least I'm trying to. It's something that I started last year. So in my little journal, I have a post-it note that details each of the fabrics. I try to recall like when I got it, where I got it from, how many yards of it I have, any descriptors that'll help me sort of remember if it's stretchy, if it's two-way stretch, four-way stretch, if it's a woven, if it's a wool, those sorts of things. So hopefully this is gonna help us keep on track and we'll get through this. So the first thing, one of the first fabrics that I saw on my first trip to G Street Fabric was this beautiful green fabric. So this is definitely like a polyester of some sort. I don't know exactly what kind. It is just the drapiest fabric I've ever seen, and it makes me so happy. Let me move her up a little bit. Can you see that? All right, so I'm gonna drape this over her. I think this, yeah, this is the right side of it. So it's one of the drapiest fabrics I've ever felt. It is the softest. I wish I could describe this with better adjectives because I want you to be able to sort of feel what this feels like, but I really wanted it to be a dress, but it's very slinky, and I wouldn't feel particularly comfortable in a very slinky sort of dress. So I then found some other greens that I think work pretty well with it. I got this, which I believe is also another polyester, but it felt very light. Again, it's also super drapey, but had a bit more body to it. And I think this could be used either as a lining under this fabric so that it wouldn't be as clingy to me, and I could use this as maybe like the bottom of a skirt and then have this lining under it. So that's my thought right now. And then I found this. Again, I believe it's another poly, but it's like double-sided. So two different, can you see the difference in those greens when they're together? I hope the light is picking it up, but this definitely, like, it's very structured. It has one-way stretch, so in this direction, and there wasn't much of it. So of this fabric, let me see how much of this fabric I have. Yeah, 35 inches long. It's 54 inches wide, but just under, like literally just under 1 yard. And I'm going to have to be very, very particular, I think, about the type of dress that I make out of this. But my idea is if I can make a bodice out of this structured, one-way stretch, more rigid material, then I would use this as the lining and then this green as the skirt. So lots of different shades of green, but honestly, they all go together so well, if not identically. I'm very excited about what I can create with this. I've been drawn to a lot of these sort of monochromatic looks that use different types of fabric, but in the same shade, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I think if I can achieve it, especially with such a muted but beautiful green, it'll be a dress that I reach for all the time. So because of how much drape this fabric has, I got, how much of this did I get? Oh, I got about 2.5 yards of this fabric. So way more than enough to make a very nice fluid skirt. So I'm going to definitely play around with what the silhouette is going to be like and how I manipulate this fabric, because I want to really accentuate how drapey it is. I want that to shine in whatever garment I make. And if I have enough extra, then I'll try and make something else with it because I love it that much. However, I am going to commit to fully investing in my first idea, which is to use it in a dress, so that I don't start, restricting myself and saving some parts of the fabric, because I know I like to make a second piece out of it. But that is my idea right now. Since then, I have picked up even more green fabric at the thrift store as well as at Joann's. Okay, I'll just show you those, even though it's not G Street. So we're gonna do a quick little break just because they all go together so well and I wanna show it to you. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So from Joann's, they also had a really nice New Year's sale, and their clearance fabrics were an additional 40% off the clearance fabric. I love those days at Joann's. So I have been stocking this fabric at Joann's all year. All of 2020, I was stocking this fabric, and it was never low enough for me. It had gone into the clearance section, and at my particular Joann's, they had like a bit of it. Someone had cut it, I think returned it, so it was like wrapped on the bolt. They did not have a barcode for it, so one time when I finally was just gonna bite the bullet and get it, I couldn't because they couldn't scan it and wouldn't sell it to me. So then I said, okay, I will wait for you guys to, figure out what the barcode is. If I come back another time and you still have it, maybe it's meant to be. I did, still wasn't low enough, but this time when I went, this was it. This was all they had. It was just, it's just a yard, like just a little bit under a yard. Actually, this is the selvage. Yeah. So just under a yard. And I was like, please give that to me. Like, please give it to me. Because if I stocked this fabric all this time and then waited and didn't even get it, I would be so upset with myself. It's a burnout fabric. So you see the black sheer bits, but then you have this amazing velvety leaf motif all over it. It has some gorgeous greens and browns and the black. So I really think that this would make an amazing sort of like cover up, like a kimono style sort of top to layer on top of other pieces. And with these greens, I think whatever I make in this, just toss this over it and it's gonna be beautiful, beautiful. I can't wait to do that. In addition to that, at Joann's, I also picked up this. Now this is a linen blend. I hope that the camera is picking up all of this gorgeous texture, but it's a linen blend, not super drapey, but I feel like it's a bottom weight fabric for sure. So I feel like a pair of pants, culottes or something like that might be really nice. I already have a very nice pair of palazzo, like green, olive green color pants, so I wouldn't necessarily make another pair of palazzo pants, but maybe culottes, something that I would wear year round, maybe into the summer when I wouldn't wear the other pants that I already have. I think that could be really nice in this. It definitely has like a very linen but almost canvas-like feel to it. It's quite heavy. I'm going to try washing it and see if it softens up a little bit. I really hope that it does, but otherwise, it's still a very, very gorgeous color, and I think within that green family as a whole. The last green thing that I got was from Value Village. I went on Thursdays, and that's my Thrifty Thursday because I get an additional 25% off, and I picked up this sheet. Now, what I loved about it was the green color. I guess I'm just really into this sort of olivey, green, and I got it for $3.99 plus 25% off, so under $3, and there's quite a bit of it here. I think this is a a twin or so size. So I have about 2.5 yards of fabric here, and it's very wide also, so that's a lot of fabric to work with. This could just be a simple dress on its own, might not necessarily work in here because their undertones are quite different, so it's not the same. But yeah, I was definitely into green at the moment. Enough about all the other green things. Let's get back to G Street Fabric and day one of my shopping with them during their New Year's sale. I'm realizing that it's gonna be me that's gonna have to fold these when it's all said and done, so maybe I'm not gonna unfold everything. I'll try and show you what I can, but whew, unless you're gonna come and help me with this, I don't know if I'm unfolding everything. I have them very neatly folded, and it's a lot of fabric. Someone's gonna have to clean that up. All right. Oh God. I'll be right back. All right, next up. So the next thing that I got, not that exciting, but I saw it and I was like, it's worth probably getting. It's this tan colored, like a nudie colored lining fabric. It's actually, I think, the lining that you would put into like swimsuits and different undergarments. But again, it's one of those sort of basics that I think is nice to have, because if I do want to line something, let's say a knit material item, then I have enough of this here that I can make either slips with it to wear under multiple things, or actually build them into garments that I'm making. So I wanted to pick this up. I got about 2.5 yards of this, and yeah, it was from the clearance section, so $2.97 a yard. It's a good buy. Next, oh my gosh, this. If I bought, no, I can't say that. I can't say. I was gonna say if I bought nothing else that day, this would be the thing that I bought, but I'm really happy about that really slinky, drapey green fabric I just showed you, so I can't really say that. But let's just say I'm very happy I have this. So happy, in fact, that I got 5 yards of it. Is that bad? Is that bad? If you watched my Me Made wardrobe for 2020, then you know that I made this really nice like sandy colored set, coordinating set with an abaya, a pair of culottes, and a top. If you haven't watched that, I would highly recommend that you do, just to see the things that I've made last year. But when I saw this, could you imagine this as a coordinating set? I mean, this could also be a suit. It feels like a wool blend of some sort. I'm convinced it might be. And yeah, it's the dreamiest. It has the dreamiest feel to it. It's so soft and it has a great weight. It could definitely be made into suiting. The reason why I think it's a wool blend, check this out. It has this little red line here, right there on the selvage. And all of the wool fabrics that I've gotten recently, I've seen some sort of like line detail on the selvage. If any of you really know fabric, like let me know, is that a thing that they do with wool? It feels like wool, it burns. The gentleman at the counter, he is the best. So when I was very curious about what kind of fabric this was, in order to test it for me, he actually cut off a little snippet and burned the edge for me so I could see how it burned. And yeah, it burned like a wool would. So he's also convinced that it's a wool blend. If you've never been to G Street Fabric, in their clearance section, it's just fabric everywhere. So they're not on bolts unless you speak to the people who, unless you speak to any of the associates who are actually cutting it, and they might have an idea based on how the fabric feels, how it handles, or any other characteristics. So they will help you get as close to the right type of fabric as possible, but it's not going to be on a bolt, so you can't necessarily tell. I think as far as it going along with my skin tone, it goes really well. I just cannot wait to sew something up with this. And I think 5 yards is definitely going to be more than enough to make something epic with a little bit left over, hopefully. All right, so the next thing that I got was this purple, sort of crinkly, it's very textured material. It's a polyester. It's fraying like nobody's business. Oh goodness. So it is a woven fabric, no stretch in it, but so beautiful. It's this deep sort of plummy purple color. Funny story about this, I had looked all throughout my closet and I've been watching Audrey Coyne, right? I've been watching Audrey Coyne on YouTube, and I love her videos about developing and finding your own style, and she was talking about creating a color palette and really gravitating towards the colors that you really like in your wardrobe, and that helping you make conscious. And Audrey spoke a lot about how really defining a color palette for your wardrobe is a great tip and technique. It helps you with shopping so you don't do as much impulse buying, and it really helps you gravitate towards colors that you know you have a lot of in your wardrobe already. And that way you can coordinate lots of things and everything goes together basically. I then identified that, you know what, I don't really have a lot of purple in my wardrobe. It's not something that I naturally gravitate towards in terms of wearing for myself. I just never really have. And all of a sudden, you know what I started doing? Buying a whole lot of purple. My intention of making that discovery was not to then fill in a gap and get a lot of purple, and that's unfortunately what ended up happening. Whatever. I do love this color. I think it'll look great on me. I like the fabric itself, and one of the reasons that I got it, if I can show you in my little notebook, previously this year I picked up this fabric right here from the thrift store. You see how well they match? You see that? Is it showing? But they go together very, very well. And in my mind, because the fabric that I had gotten already is a bit heavier, then I could make something like a top or a nice summer dress and then pair it with whatever I make with that other fabric as well. So that was my idea. And I got 1 3/4 yards of this fabric. All of the fabrics that I got on the first day were from the clearance section. So just multiply how many yards I got by $3. So I can make a really nice $4 and, you know, like a $5 dress from this basically, but it will not look $5. I am going to do a really good job. I feel like inshallah I'll make something very beautiful from that. The next item that I got, because purple is something that I don't have in my wardrobe and I am trying to fill that void, I guess. I don't know why my brain did that, but here I am. I honestly, okay, so I wasn't gonna get this fabric initially. I saw it when I was rummaging through the clearance section and I was like, oh, it's nice, but purple is not a big color for me. I don't need it. I didn't need it. And also I find that a lot of prints for women is often floral. And I really just don't want my entire wardrobe to be all floral prints. So I'd seen it, I said it's nice, but you know, you don't need it, it's okay. So I passed it up. But then when I was finally at the cashier checking out, I was just shy of a big coupon that they have. So if you spend $100, oh my gosh, it sounds so bad. If you spend $100, during their New Year's sale, you could get $20 off. I was already buying only clearance fabric, and they were also going to give me $20 off. If I didn't run back and get that additional 2 or 3 yards of fabric that he recommended I got, I would be insane. So I was like, oh, just give me a second. Let me go back into the clearance section and see what I can find. So with that, I ran back and I still had a couple of the fabrics that I was considering sort of laid out on the main table. So I went through them and I was like, you know what? This would work. Like, if I need to pick up something, let me just get it and see what I can make out of it. But there's a lot of fabric here. I just ended up getting the whole thing. You know, I'd counted it out to 3 yards, which is what I needed, but I think there was just 1 yard left, and I figured, you know what, just give me the whole thing. So I picked this up, and I think it can make a very beautiful dress. Again, 4 yards is a lot, especially for me. I'm used to making dresses out of 2.5 yards, 2 yards. So this is going to be something either extremely like detailed and flary, or roughly and just all of the details, like all the bells and whistles, because I have so much. Or because it's a border print, I think I can actually make multiple things out of this and really play around with using the border print to do some interesting detailing, maybe along the bodice, maybe on a pair of pants, different things like that. It's a very lightweight polyester fabric, and I think it's going to be great for any sort of summer item. So that's 4 yards of that. Next I got this. Guys, when I saw this fabric, I'm gonna see if I can pop a picture up on the screen, but it instantly reminded me of a dress that was worn by Basma K. I hope I'm saying her name right, but Basma K. And I love her style. And she had this dress that had this beautiful like tiered skirt, very flouncy top. And when I saw this, I thought I could make something very similar to that. It has a lot of trim detail in her dress as well. So I have some trim that I've been just waiting for the right moment to use. But this fabric has this beautiful warm undertone. And it also has these like blueberries and the green leaves, and it's just so nice. It drapes so well. It's a light material. So here's one layer. So it drapes really well. Yeah, I cannot wait to use this and make something out of it. I got 4.5 yards of this. So that's how thin this fabric is, because look, that's 4.5 yards. It doesn't seem like it. But yeah, very, very nice. And look at how well it goes with this. So can you imagine this as a beautiful flowy dress? And then if I make another like jacket sort of, you know, cover up piece, and I wear them together. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, 4.5 yards, that's a lot. I'm sure I can get that dress out of it, but I might have more, so definitely maybe something for my daughter. I think this could be a very nice mommy and me matching set for the summer, so I'm excited about that. All right, the next thing that I got is this. It's a mix, like right in between a cobalt blue and a navy blue, but it's just a stretch material. So it stretches in both ways. Super slinky, very drapey. But I got this because, I don't know, well, it was just 1 yard of it left, and I feel like, oh, I know what it is. I was flipping through my book of all my fabrics, and I know that I have some things in here that I've purchased before that have this cobalt blue sort of, you know, material, and I was thinking either I can make a top out of it to wear with those things, or again, because I really like those monochromatic looks that have different fabric types in them, I thought that I could either make a piece where I combine those fabrics together or make a top that I wear with it. It's only 1 yard, so I'm sure that I'll, you know, make something worthwhile, and I thought it was worth having in my stash for future use. Oh, next up. So next up, this is another fabric that, you know, when I was laying everything out and deciding what I was gonna get, I was so drawn to it. Let me know if I'm crazy. Like, you look at this. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Is it captivating you the way it captivated me? The fabric is just so detailed. It's like something of an earlier time. I feel like back in the day, they would make fabric that had all of this amazing detail. It just felt so good. And while wearing white isn't something that I necessarily want to do a lot of or often because of my kids. I feel like there was enough color and you know, pattern in here that I could get away with this as a dress. So I think this is gonna make a lovely summer dress. The draper on it is gorgeous, like all of the ruffles. I just want it to be so girly and feminine and beautiful. So I have 4 yards of this fabric. Again, when you're getting fabric from that clearance section, it's almost like, yeah, just give me all of that. Just give me all of that, which I never do. I'm always like, 2 yards is okay. Yeah, 2.5 maybe, right? I'm always so afraid to get too much fabric because I just don't want to spend a lot of money on fabric, but the sale was so good, and the quality of this fabric, it really does seem amazing. It's not sheer, it's not see-through, and for a fabric that's white, that's, you know, very important. So I'm very excited about this. It's going to make a gorgeous summer dress. 4 yards of this. I think with that, and I think that blue, I don't know, but I'll make something gorgeous out of that. And you see that purple popping back up for someone who doesn't wear purple. So I'm seeing it everywhere now. Maybe I am someone who wears purple. Oh, all right, so next up, this one honestly may be a bit difficult for you to really get an appreciation for this fabric because it's black. And I don't know if the camera is going to pick up the gorgeousness of this fabric. But here, let me try. So it is this black, almost sateen-like fabric. Like, I don't know how to describe it to you. It's not a matte black, it's not super shiny, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I saw this, and it's the way that it feels, like the way that it, see how it does this? So you know it's not, I don't know how to describe this to you. You know, the way that it's doing this, you know that it doesn't have a lot of grit to it. Like, that's that sateen, almost like feel of this. And I think because it's so structured, right, it does not stretch. Because it's so structured, I think I only have 1.5 yards of this. So this is one of those scenarios where I thought, you know what, again, I could do a black on black, get a different black fabric and make a full dress out of this. Because it's so weighty, I wouldn't necessarily want to just make a blouse. I could make a pair of pants, but I don't know, I just feel like making a pair of black pants will be like, okay, you made a pair of black pants. So I don't know, I'll have to think about this, but I do want to give it its shine. Like, I want it to really pop in whatever outfit or whatever garment I make with it, because I think it deserves that. I am going to assume this is some sort of polyester because I'm quite certain that if I tried to put high heat on this, it would do something that I do not want it to do. So I'm assuming it's a sort of polyester just based on the feel. But I'm excited I have this. 1.5 yards, 60 inches wide. And I thought it was worth at least bringing into my stash. Black is a classic color. I'm sure I'll make use of it. I'm flipping the page. What else did I get that day? Ooh, okay. I'm getting into some of my other. Yes. Oh, did I put on that day? Yeah. Okay. So guys, look at this. Look at this beautiful polyester. This blue is everything. I absolutely love it. The drape, the sheen, the texture of this material. That on me. Could you see it? Could you see it? I can't wait. I cannot wait to make something out of this. It's so light that I feel like this should absolutely make a beautiful dress. I got 2 cuts of it because again, it was in the clearance section, so you just kind of, I saw one and I was like, oh, this is nice, but it wasn't a whole lot. And then I saw another cut of it and I was like, okay, I'll get them both. And that way I can make a full garment, whatever it is that I choose to make. In total, I have about 3.5 yards of this. So that's enough, absolutely, for me to get a dress out of this if I chose to do a dress. But given the weight of it, I feel like that's absolutely what I'm going to make. So it's just up to me to decide like what kind of dress I want to make. There are some amazing things that I found on my second trip to G Street Fabric during their New Year sale that actually goes perfectly with this. But you'll have to check out the next video to see what those fabrics are. I hope you enjoyed my haul. Altogether, that was 33 yards of fabric. So that amount brought me just over the amount that I needed to get the $20 off, which I was more than happy to do. I honestly, looking back at the fabrics and being able to review them with you just now, you let me know below. Do you feel like I won in terms of the fabric haul lottery? Like, how did I do? I picked up a wool. I picked up beautiful, while there were a lot of polyesters, I feel like a lot of our clothes are made with polyester. I am trying to be more cognizant